I'm Everett.
And I'm Brett.
And it's time for a
Spooky Special! A reading from Ephesians, chapter 2, 19 through 22. Brothers and sisters, you are no longer strangers and sojourners, but you are fellow citizens with the holy ones and members of the household of God, built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, with Jesus Christ himself as the capstone. Through him, the whole structure is held together and grows into a temple, sacred in the Lord. In him, you also are being built together into a dwelling place of God in the Spirit. Word of the Lord.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, we'd like to start off with some spine-chillingly good sports.
Our football team last week came out with a great win against Trinity.
And our volleyball team did really good in the district tournament.
Don't forget about winter sports, because it's not too late to join swim and basketball.
And don't forget about the Black Light Pep Rally today.
Hello, I'm here with Emma Sherman and Amelia Ministrelli, and they were accepted into TPS MAA Middle School Choir. Now, tell me, what song did you sing, and what was your audition process, and how do you feel about your audition?
Well, we sang Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep.
And J'ai Jamais, Marie Grandoma.
Lovely, lovely. So, tell me, how do you feel about getting this amazing opportunity to be in the 100 Best Voices in North Texas? And yes.
I feel honored and happy that I made it, because not a lot of people made it, and a lot of good people tried out.
Yeah, and last year we were supposed to try out, but
The voice recording.
we missed the due date, so.
But we made it this year. That's very good. Do you have any other information about TPS MEA?
Y'all should join choir because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we only
This week we're wishing a happy birthday to Claire Fanning,
Hayden Siemens.
Reverend Milton,
Miss McGee.
Coach Roberts.
Miss Bartley.
Happy birthday!
To put you in the Halloween spirit, we have some spooky stories from Deacon Necessary and Mr. Glosson.
Spooky!
About 3 years ago, I was asked to go and bless a house outside of White House. The residents of the house were reporting strange phenomena in the house. They were saying that one room of the house was very, very cold upstairs, while the rest of the house was warm. They felt the hair on the back of their necks rise when they walked by certain rooms. Appliances would come on in the middle of the night for no apparent reason. You would hear the sound of moaning, they thought, in the middle of the night for no reason, so they asked that their house be blessed. So I was called in to bless the house. So I came in, and I blessed every room of the house per the ritual, sprinkled every room with holy water, said the proper prayers, and when I went upstairs to this loft bedroom that where the phenomenon was reported to be the strongest, even I felt a difference in the atmosphere of the house. It was very, very, very stuffy and warm. It just didn't feel right. And I had a feeling of apprehension within me when I walked by and repeated the words of the ritual. Well, I continued on and said the prayers. And when we got to the very end of the ritual, we got to the living room of the house. I said the prayer of St. Michael to drive away all the enemies and snares of the devil. And when I finished and made the sign of the cross one last time, the lamp on the coffee table exploded. That was kind. unusual.
A long time ago, back before Texas had ever even won its independence, there was an old feller by the name of Britt Bailey that crossed the Sabine River looking to make his fortune here. He found himself a nice fertile piece of land down along the Brazos River, and he squatted right down on it. Now, it weren't too long after that the Mexican government gave permission to a fellow by the name of Stephen F. Austin to come settle folks down on that land. Now, when Austin got there, he found Britt and his family squatting on the land, and he told them, "Look, Britt, you got to go. You ain't got no title for this here land." Well, old Britt said, "I got here first, and me and this here rifle says I'm a-going to stay." Now, Austin was a smart feller, so he decided to go ahead and let Britt stay, figuring he'd rather have Britt by his side if he got in a scrape with Indians rather than have a scrape with him right there. So he wrote him a title, and that's how old Britt became part of the old 300. Now, there's three things you got to understand about old Britt. First of all, he liked a good fight. He loved his moonshine whiskey, and weren't no man going to take what was rightfully his. That made him a quite ornery sort of neighbor. But at least he was good in a scrape with Karankawa Indians or even the Mexican government down at the Battle of Velasco. But after a number of years, old Britt took sick and he knew his time was a-coming. So he called his wife and he gave her very specific instructions to how he was supposed to be buried. First of all, he wanted to be buried standing up, facing west, with his rifle by his side and a jug of moonshine whiskey down at his feet. Well, his wife honored all but one of those requests. She kind of resented the fact she never could get that moonshine out of his hand during this life, so she figured she'd deprive him of it in the next. Well, it wasn't too long after he was buried before people traveling near his property would see this ghostly light floating across his prairie. Well, his wife figured that was probably his spirit up looking for that jug of moonshine that she hadn't put there. So she had some folks open up his grave, and she put that moonshine whiskey down in there, and well, that seemed to settle his ghost down for a spell. But if you happen to travel down to South Texas, around old Britt Bailey's prairie, and you go trespassing on his land, don't be too surprised if you see a ghostly light come and run you off, because he doesn't take too kindly to trespassers, and he don't want nobody getting near his moonshine whiskey.
This has been Middle School BGTV, our Halloween special.
Over and out!